Hello everyone, my name is Nathan and today it's time for another episode of Oxygen Not Included here in the Ultimate Base 4.0. In the previous episode we took care of building a power spine here on the left side, as well as finally integrating the transit tubes across the entire planetoid. It might still make some sense to branch off occasionally and actually get to the specific locations. These guys here are just at random levels currently, so the dupes can get around a little bit quicker. In today's episode I would like to move my water storage a little bit up towards the base. Maybe here at the bottom we could have some liquid storages. And then I also want to make use of the petroleum that we're getting. For one, I would like to fill up my first petroleum rocket, get that started and prepare everything for it. But then we could also be using the petroleum as a coolant, for instance, for the metal refinery right here. So I was kind of thinking it would make sense to put the metal refinery and the glass forge together, since both of them produce materials or coolant that gets really hot. So say we now get rid of the composts here and we could set up a little crafting room here with the refinery and the forge. So I'm gonna reroute this again so it goes into this direction and we can get rid of all of this pipage. So let's have a look at that. Metal refinery takes up 3 spots. Thinking about it, I definitely want some space around it in order to set up conveyor receptacles to supply materials automatically, and then the glass forge would take up slightly more space and only requires sand, right? What if we made the room here at the bottom a little bit larger and also integrated all the other crafting machines? Like, what do we need? A rock crusher? Potentially a molecular forge. What about the bleachstone hopper? What is that even? Uses salt and gold to produce bleachstone. Wow, that's actually kind of intriguing. And then also the oxalite refinery. We also got the plant pulverizer that uses sleet wheat grain and pincha pepper nut to extract brackine, which is, I think, another building material, which can be used to refill the critter fountain. I see. So yeah, it would make sense to build a huge crafting room. You know, considering everything, let's say this would also be part of the base. I don't access this from the outside, so dupes can just remain inside the base in order to use these machines. That still means I want to leave a little bit of space on the right side. What about lamps? We should think about lamps too. Like right here, I probably want one too. So let's just go ahead and set this up symmetrically on each room. Also provided with a little bit of power right away. Ooh. Did you see what I did there? Oh my gosh. Yeah, something like that already looks much more believable. That means the machines that suck the most power we're gonna have on this side. Just add a little plate here. For now, I think in the building phase, I want to make it accessible from the right side. But then we can easily power up this machine that requires quite a bit of power. Now, thinking about everything and that the steam turbine here doesn't really have anything to do right now, we might want to make use of that to cool down our oil. So what if I made a little extension here for this steam room and then we just cooled down the oil here, and that means I could leave a little bit of space here for the glass forge. So let's say I have my auto sweeper right here, and then I think eventually what I would be interested in is to get all of my items that I want to store on this single tile here within space. So it doesn't influence anything else. It can be hot or cold. Preferably I would have them on average temperature, of course. So whenever we have a material that we need to treat before we're gonna do that. However, there's still going to be exceptions where we actually get hot material, and so I figured right here next to a transit tube access point isn't the worst of ideas, so they can get there quickly, grab the materials, and then distribute it across the base. To do that, first of all, I'm gonna set up another automatic dispenser, but then I'm also gonna set up one of these conveyor chutes here. Let's say we set that up right here, and then whenever I have materials such as this regolith, I want to bring it over. So let's just say we move this across the ladder that we'll have on the right side. That doesn't actually make sense. Yeah, I don't have that much space. The last rocket silo comes up to this place. Yeah, that's actually not gonna be very convenient. Could we have the storage maybe here? Yeah, honestly, maybe having the storage right beneath here does make a little bit more sense. We can still have our conveyor chute and the dispenser here. But that would mean we probably get up the materials this way, and that will entail all the materials I'm gathering across the planetoid. Everything should be funneled into this place. And then I think on the next level, I'm gonna have some distribution conveyor loaders. In this case, I think I'm gonna funnel the materials through this tile. That makes more sense to me. And it will then also be going throughout the entire base. So let's just drag a rail all the way down. So we already got this sorted. Right here, I can have a whole bunch of conveyor loaders. Actually, does that make sense? I kind of want to make sure that there can be an auto sweeper that is able to reach the materials and also the conveyor loaders, so they can automatically distribute materials. And it looks like this is going to be possible, even with the 5th silo. I like that. The first conveyor loader here, I'm going to be using to bring the sand over to the water sieve here. Currently, we have that conveyor loader inside the base, but it can just go ahead and move over here. Actually, now looking at this, I might want to completely reroute it. So we just go through here, and this would be coming from the first conveyor loader, filling up the sand, and then this rail here would be getting the polluted dirt out into our system. Now let's speed up the construction of this room right here, because my dupes will have to go inside and therefore probably mess up my hydrogen system again. As you know, we're already collecting a little bit of the petroleum that we're sending over from the second planetoid, and I'm already building a pipe that will go all the way up. Now I'm thinking, should we build our piping system here maybe, where we have the transit tubes? Honestly, it could make sense, but we also have to move our water source. So say this part of the base right here will become the liquid storage. We will then have a pump somewhere here in order to bring these up. It's going to go over into the electrolyzers and wherever else we need the water. The source will still be coming from below, at least for a couple of 100 cycles. And that means water I want to bring up this way. That makes sense to me. It's going to go all throughout the transit tube points and then over. Wait, over down below, then hopping over here, or not hopping. Well, there's going to be the liquid vent and a liquid pump right there. That makes sense. Let's maybe open up the bottom there. And I want to have my conductive joint plate right there. Okay. The water storage I will be making accessible from below. Let me think. Now that we have infinite plastic, I probably want to go ahead and research the plastic ladders. Yeah, check this out. It's even an easy research. There's no reason not to do it. Getting plastic tiles, the comfy bed, plastic ladder. Ooh, clothing refashioner. But yeah, I would like to start replacing the permanent ladders with the plastic version to make them even quicker. Now we can see we're using up the battery here, so we gotta be a little bit careful. Let's maybe connect this up. This is gonna fry some of my cables, but it's just a temporary thing. Yeah, as a matter of fact, the battery's already full again, so maybe I can prevent it from happening even. Battery dead again. Oh my gosh. Okay, it's gonna be a little bit of a pain in the butt. But you know, this is only ever happening when we are building here, of course, because we're losing a little bit of the hydrogen and then it attempts to fill it up again. So maybe a better solution would be to have the vent somewhere after feeding the hydrogen generators. Since this is the ultimate base, I'm gonna be doing just that. Let me think. All we have to do is cut these pipes here and then already go down, then feed the hydrogen generators, and before going over, we actually first go up again and then we go over and down. Okay, we then can move the vent over here. No, actually it's not possible. Ah, darn it. Yeah, I would have to move the battery so I have space for the vent. What if we moved everything a little bit over? I mean, this room here at the bottom doesn't need to be this large. I don't even know why I did that. So I could probably get away with something like this and then have that cable go up. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. This will allow me to move the room over a little bit, even set up a gas reservoir. Yeah, I like that idea. So now I know I want to funnel my water up here in the center spot. I'm gonna build a second pipe all the way up in order to ship up my petroleum. And petroleum will be coming from this line going up here. So all of this I can delete again. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit all over the place with these projects or goals that I set in the beginning, but let's continue here with the steam room. I want to enlarge this in order to allow a pipe through that will be cooling down petroleum. And by cooling, I just mean below 200 degrees. It will then directly go back into the metal refinery. And because we have a cooling loop going on, I don't think we're going to have too much heat seeping through. The aqua tuner here should be able to take care of everything. So let's define the space that I want to be able to use to cool this down. We could do a 5x5 area. I think that is actually reasonable. So going down here, this should all be ceramic here. Ceramic. Okay. Oh, wait, we actually have this entire space here. Yeah, I'm gonna make this a little bit larger. So it's a 6x6 area. Can get rid of this and let's maybe keep that in place for now and make it accessible here. Now, this will be a little bit complicated to build because we have to get the solid charcoal right there. Actually, could I replace these? Ah, okay, so that is actually intelligent. I'm glad the devs made that. We can directly replace the tiles and therefore not lose anything. This also already gives me a better idea of the finalized cooling loop, which is probably going to go through this area. And then we would be going up and back through here. And instead of going through the cooling room, I think we're just going to be ending up right here. That means all of this area here I have available to set up a crafting system. And then the upper portion I'm going to be using to make a fancy kitchen. Wonderful. Research completed. We got access to the plastic ladder. Maybe let's already go ahead and replace this. Oh, that doesn't make sense now. I would like to get access here. I'm going to move the power transformer over. Yeah, there we go. That just makes a little bit more sense to me. And this way we can open this up in the future and then add a ladder right there. And I'm also going to replace the ladder here inside the base. And as far as I know me, I will also want a ladder access point eventually here next to the transit tubes. How much plastic do we still have? Over a ton. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and already build that in some places. And this will then be my main ladder shaft instead of the one we have currently going on. In the meantime, we have exchanged all of the normal Dracos. That means we lost our only source of reed fiber, and we might want to take care of that. Now, how many reed fiber plants do we need for a colony like this? Honestly, I have no idea, but I feel like maybe 3 should be enough. Though, where would I want to set up these boogers? Honestly, inside the base. So if we move the exosuit forge over here into the base, then I could have my plants right there. Yeah, let me just set this up as an example here. I might still move things around a little bit, and then we would have a bunch of plants. Hydroponic farms. No, I'm just gonna go with normal farms right now. Yeah, I'm gonna first watch this unfold, and until then, we're just gonna do this manually. And I'm not even gonna do this here. Yeah, I'm just gonna build the exosuit forge in an impossible place to remember that I want to move it. The same thing with the glass forge that somewhere needs to be here. Same thing with any rock crushers or the kilns. We're gonna have that all here. And of course, I'm just not gonna place them nilly-willy because I want to automate them as good as possible. And that always means leaving a little bit of space for conveyor receptacles and all that jazz. I probably also want my molecular forge somewhere here. And this guy will require a lot of space. So I don't even know if I want it here. What else would we want inside the base? Maybe the pulverizer? And what about the bleachstone hopper? Yeah, I'm just gonna set this all up here. Oxalite refinery could also be a thing. And yeah, I guess I'm gonna wait for your response. But this looks like a lot of machinery. Maybe some of these are not necessary inside the base, such as the molecular forge. Or even the oxalite refinery, that probably goes into the same category. But then again, it would be great to have that all here. And theoretically, I have the space. The kitchen isn't gonna take up that much space. But I will have to think this through. Some of the machinery can be sacrificed to not be inside the base. Some of it is probably gonna make more sense. Now, when it comes to all my incoming materials, I guess I can already lead them through here, and they're gonna join the line that goes up to the centralized storage. This line here is also gonna disappear. Right now, I'm storing the materials here. No. Oh, wait, that's the wrong teleporter. The one that I want is here at the bottom. So honestly, it's probably just gonna move over. And that means I can probably take advantage of this here as well. If I just move this over, I cannot really do it more conveniently. So I would be moving over here and then joining up with this line eventually. Same thing for the volcanoes here at the bottom. I'm probably moving them over here. And let's see, this guy is starting in this place, moving over here as well. Now I used up all my copper material. Maybe we're gonna switch to something else. Let's do more cobalt. Okay, now my dupes have a lot to build. Let me see, there's the last volcano. And I'm not cooling this down. What? How does that even make sense? I'm not cooling this down appropriately. Oh my gosh. Let's switch to aluminium for these guys. And then I will be coming out here and probably we can end up there and do the same thing here. Yeah, now we got building projects all over the place. Maybe I'm gonna allow them to finish the one or other thing. Right now, we already moved the power stuff. That means I want to get rid of this guy. I will be making the next room a little bit larger. What did I want to entail? Maybe a gas reservoir as well. That would mean gas reservoir here, then leave one space free. And after that, we can move this up. Okay. However, if I did that, I cannot really add, for instance, more hydrogen generators to use up the extra hydrogen. And that is more of a pain in the butt. I'd rather store the hydrogen somewhere else. So I'm not actually gonna do the gas reservoir. I'm just gonna move this over to make space for the gas vent. And then instead, I could be moving my hydrogen generator system up a little bit. Say we need a little bit space for the battery, and then we can have up to 3 generators. Yeah, this is much, much better. So I have another battery here that we're gonna hook up to the main system. Actually, everything is gonna be hooked up to the main system. A little bit of automation wire going from the battery to these guys. And then this will replace my current hydrogen system I have going on at the bottom. And I would like to get all of this finished here because that is gonna be the immediate system that I can already use. Now, thinking about this, we could run into an issue of feeding these generators. Right now, I'm just going through basically and then dumping the hydrogen inside of this room. But theoretically, we should have an infinite storage somewhere for this hydrogen so we can use it whenever we actually require it. So eventually I will first have to bring it into a storage and afterwards feed it into the generators. But we can still do this later on. Main thing is we get everything more or less prepared. There's my new wall. I can replace these guys now with the background tiles and everything should work without the loss of gases. Wonderful. My conveyor rails have been built. That means we can go ahead, copy the settings of this conveyor loader. Then I'm gonna remove this conveyor loader, this chute as well, and everything that we don't need, like these rails, this guy, these rails, they can all go. Wait. Yeah, I think I did that right. So now the sand is going in from here. That's good. And this would be the outgoing rail bringing everything to the chute. Woo, we still have to finish the rail there. And I think the way we could cool down the machinery here is simply with the incoming water into the storage. So we would be leading that through a couple of panels, just zigzagging up and down. So go up, over, down, over, up. Over yeah, actually the other way around makes more sense. So we first go down, up, and down. As for the steam room here on the top, that will cool down the metal refinery stuff. One thing we could get prepared are the aluminium pipes and also the sensor. Now this doesn't make sense. We will have to reroute this as well. And then considering we're coming from below, we probably go up, over, and then down, and then do maybe not all the way down, so we can have a way back as well. But then we would be doing the zigzag like so, go down here, go over, and we can join with the lower line. To accomplish this, we need to remove one pipe here and there, probably from the cooling loop. Cooling loop will be coming up here, so we can hop over there and hop over there. Then the metal refinery stuff will be coming up here, so hop over there, do the wiggle jiggle, and then go down here, like so. Yeah, that makes sense. Now I have both my in and output for the metal refinery, and as soon as we move the pipe up here, we can finish the jiggle wiggle. Wait a second, it might be worth it to also set up a liquid reservoir here. If I build it out of steel, it wouldn't overheat, and then of course we could keep the 200 degrees petroleum in here, no issues. Where would be the best spot for this? Honestly, up here, I think. Yeah, that just makes so much sense. So we go directly into the liquid reservoir and then come out from here and do the jiggle wiggle. I could even go up here and then do the rest of the stuff. Let me reroute this. This is just too confusing. So you go up. Yeah, that doesn't really make sense to me. I think I'm gonna skip the 2 tasks here on the liquid reservoir and then continue as I planned. And so what I probably want to see here is this on a lip. And then, yeah, let's maybe get ladder access on this place. Also, once I build the metal refinery here, I will not have access to the ceiling here anymore to build stuff. So what I would like to see is this maybe already exchanged with radiant pipes. I mean, the radiant pipes here will be the ultimate pipes, so we should build them. And of course, it's going to be made out of aluminium. Yeah, hold the phone. Awaiting delivery. What's happening? Why? Ooh, no power wire. Are you serious? They are serious. Okay, well, we have to do this really quickly. Otherwise, I'm screwed. Somebody build that for me, please. Thank you. And now this should be delivered, no issues. And then once we move the water storage, these conveyor loaders will also be cooled down. I like that. Slowly but surely, things are getting way cleaner. Most of the piping now in the future will make a lot of sense. We already have the water line going up here. So in the future from the desalinator, I probably just want to move this over. And then we're going to move it all the way up into the new storage. Okay, that was actually an awful lot of planning here in this episode, I have to say. But I think it will be worth it. Now I have to free up my asteroids from all the debris from the meteor showers. So now before I actually forget, let me set up 3 plants here so we can observe whether or not that is going to be enough to sustain my current reed fiber plant amount and also maybe even increase it so we can supply the other planetoids. But I suspect eventually we're going to be needing way more. So we should think about a dedicated situation for that in the future. Right now, all that is important is that we get a little bit of reed fiber in the joint and maintain this, maybe even manually, until we have a better solution. You know, thinking about it, the exosuit forge would totally makes sense in this room, honestly. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and move that. Good, so I know this was a lot of planning, but this was very important to get all of our systems in tune. And overall, this is gonna make for a much cleaner look and system. All of our materials are gonna be centralized here in a location nearby a transit tube access point. Dupes can just come over here, grab the material they require, and then use the transit tube again to move somewhere else. I might stack a couple of these, but a goal would also be for this auto sweeper to reach the materials, maybe even reach the abyssalite and obsidian so that I can use it for building materials. But yeah, you get the basic gist. Now we have to do an awful lot of building, and as soon as that is done, we should be able to, for instance, activate the metal refinery and the glass forge in the next episode if we do everything right. Oh, that reminds me, we also have to add a rail here. Actually, do we? I figured we might want to cool down the glass, but honestly, it only comes out at what? 1000 degrees or so when it cools down, and it would then immediately cool down on the metal tile that we are currently cooling with the cooling loop, right? Yeah, honestly, this is probably not necessary. So glass forge and metal refinery we can have somewhere along here. Cool down the petroleum that we'll be getting from the bottom. We should now have plenty of petroleum already. Well, one storage full, but that is enough to ship the petroleum upstairs, okay? And then use it in our metal refinery right there, together with this liquid reservoir. I love it. Let's maybe get some insulated pipes. I'm gonna build these out of ceramic here so they don't unnecessarily heat up the base. Not that it makes a huge difference. Let's see, this is the outgoing line. So as soon as we exit the metal refinery, we want to go up there and we will be doing the entire cooling loop, which I assume is enough to get it to 200 degrees. It should be enough with the aluminium pipes. And then we go ahead and bring this back into the refinery again. So there's going to be a lot of steam, and maybe we even want to exchange some of these drywall with temp shift plates. But who knows, we might not even need those. The temperature could be transferred quick enough, even like this. But then again, temp shift plates are just amazing. Ooh, I don't want to use diamonds if I don't have that many. What about a temp shift plate made out of glass? What does that do? Heat capacity, thermal conductivity. Oh my gosh. Okay, it's actually the worst material to build a temp shift plate out of. If I check out the diamond one here, we have a thermal conductivity of 80 and a heat capacity of 0.5. Let's try some other materials, like iron could be good. Let's also compare iron and cobalt here. Ah, well, you look at that. Cobalt seems to be even better in transferring the heat, and then iron would be half as good. So cobalt so far is the best material, and even, yeah, that is normal cobalt ore, right? No, it's refined cobalt. What about gold? Can you do even better gold? No. Thermal conductivity of 60. So now the question is, what about steel? Steel has 54. Holy cow, so cobalt is still better. Honestly, this really surprises me, I have to say, but let's go with cobalt. I'm gonna go ahead, build one temp shift plate here. This is basically trying to even out the temperatures all around the temp shift plate. And that means I can probably have another one here and another one there. And this should then evenly get all of the heat that is being produced and push it over into into this room. Wonderful. Now I'm gonna allow my duplicants to build all of what I planned, and in the next episode we should be able to get everything in motion and finally maybe also make some progress here before then moving on to the petroleum rocket. But yeah, still lots to build. I would say I'm gonna allow my duplicants to do that, and we're gonna wrap up the episode at this point. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. Have a great time and see you in the next one. Bye bye.